greatest idea in human history, the theory of evolution by natural selection. Darwin revealed that all species have evolved over time to best exploit the conditions in which they live. He further realized that these conditions are not simply those of geography and climate, but also their relationship to other lives that live alongside. From the delicate codependencies of bees and orchids to the dramatic connection between cheetah and gazelle, all life on Earth is both product and contributor to its place in space and time. This complex web of life, of which we are a part, has been millennia in the making. Whilst Darwin's insights explain how this web came about, over 200 years later, we are still only beginning to understand its interconnections and which of these connections are the most vital. Yet we do know for certain is that these connections can break. From the dinosaurs to other spectacular fossils, we have all tonight been within touching distance of astonishing fragments of ecosystems long gone. As far as we know, there have been 5 major extinction events on our planet. Events caused by changes so severe that many species simply can't adapt and, as such, die out. Right now, we are in the midst of the Earth's 6th mass extinction. One every bit as profound and far-reaching as that which wiped out the dinosaurs. It's almost impossible to grasp as we go about our lives that the rest of life on Earth is experiencing destruction on the scale of that wrought by a colossal asteroid collision. But consider these facts. 96% of the mass of mammals on our planet today are us.
To a dire warning about climate change.
Sometimes I wonder what the world will look like when I'm older. Will there be lush forests and clean waters, or wildfires and flying cars?
People say we're too young to understand. They talk about our future like it's something distant.
Some days I worry about the generations after me. They may have it worse than I do. Our actions leave a big impact, even when they feel small.
We have the power to make a difference, one step at a time. Every place feels the impact of climate change, even those thousands of kilometers away.
Though distant, the Arctic rules the Earth's weather. When the ice melts, the oceans rise. I don't want polar bears to exist only in picture books. They're real, and they're running out of space. Some innovators have already helped slow the melt. Even tech that can manipulate solar power. Indigenous leaders, they've been protecting the Arctic for generations. We still have time to act, to cool the planet, and to let the Arctic breathe. We believe in a future where the polar bears will still walk the ice.
Now the currents are slowing, acidity levels are rising. There are more storms, more droughts, but the ocean is still powerful. People are planting seagrass and mangroves. Others are building coral nurseries, even reducing ship traffic. The ocean is healing. In some places, fish are returning. This is our moment to restore the balance. The ocean is strong, and so are we.
The Amazon. They call it the lungs of the earth. Every tree, every bird, every drop of rain fills the jungle with life. What is disappearing? Animals are leaving. But we can stop the loss and let the creatures remain in their rightful home. There are people planting millions of trees. In indigenous communities, they're defending the forest. New inventions are helping too. We want our forest to last forever. The Amazon can grow back, and so can our hope.
So, what do we do now?
We keep speaking up. Others have used their voice, and we have listened. We must gather together and become stronger.
We know what's at stake. We've seen forestry grow. We've seen what happens when people care.
And it's not too late. We are the climate generation, and we're just getting started.
I hope my voice in this film reminds young people, especially those who don't always see themselves represented in climate spaces, that you don't need to be a scientist, activist, or politician to make a difference. As someone who came into this work through education and data storytelling, I've learned that the most powerful change often starts with asking questions, staying curious, and finding new ways to connect people to the truth. Growing up in Toronto, climate change often felt like something distant, something happening elsewhere or too big to tackle. But the more I learned, the more I realized that every action, every story, and every data tells us that we're all connected. That's what led me to build the Climate Data Hub, a place where science, design, and youth voices come together to make the climate crisis feel real, human, and solvable. Through this film, I want people around the world to feel less alone in their concern and more empowered to take action, no matter what their background is. I want to show that climate action doesn't have to look a certain way. It could be art, science, storytelling, community building. If this story encourages even one person to speak up, get involved, or create something of their own, then it's already made an impact, because real change starts when we show up as ourselves. Right now, fossil fuels still dominate the world's energy grid. Coal, oil, and gas make up 80% of the global energy use. In contrast, renewable sources like solar, wind, and hydro only account for 20%. This is the current energy landscape that we are living in, and it tells us just how much work is still ahead. But here's the good news. Progress is happening. Over the past 15 years, the gap between fossil fuels and renewables has been steadily narrowing. Thanks to advancements in clean technology and policy efforts, renewables are rising. And according to the International Energy Agency, a global authority on energy policy and forecasting, renewable sources are projected to make up 30% of the world's energy supply by 2030. And beyond that, the future holds even more promise. By 2050, we are working toward a critical global goal: net zero emissions. That means the total amount of greenhouse gases we emit will be balanced out by the amount we remove, effectively stopping further climate change in its tracks. We're on pace to reach this milestone, but only if we continue accelerating the transition to renewable energy and reduce our reliance on fossil fuels. The road ahead is challenging, but with action and innovation, it's also full of hope.
So why I think storytelling, especially in film, is important, especially to climate change, is because we can share a lot of the same emotions that are shown through the film. So for example, we could share the same sense of happiness or sadness that we could feel through the characters or the voices in a video. And a lot of the time, there's also an overarching message that the film wants the audience to remember or leave with. And what we want to use that for is to inspire the youth, because a lot of the time, the youth feels like they have less power than they actually do, even though they're the ones that are going to live in this world in the future. So What we want to do is sort of show the seriousness of climate change and how people aren't taking it seriously enough. But we also want to inspire and tell people that, hey, we can actually fix this problem if we take the necessary actions, especially the younger kids who are going to grow up and live in this world.
I've lived long enough to know that ignoring the climate crisis won't make it go. Young people are speaking up. It's time we listened and acted. My vision is for a world with clean air, safe water, thriving ecosystems for everyone. This isn't just their future, it's ours too. Let's face the facts, support real solutions, and protect what matters before it's too late.
Canada's youth have big ideas when it comes to fighting climate change, but without a ballot, they often feel unheard. Audra Brown with a Canadian project that is hoping to give them a global voice.
Beaches like this need to be protected. If the earth is like this right now, how will it be when I'm 20 or 30 or 40?
UrbanArts Toronto is asking youth to share their feelings and ideas on climate change.
UrbanArts is a registered Canadian charity, uses the arts, technology, and education to expand the horizons of children and youth.
The Climate Generation program invites young people to submit a short blogger-style video answering the suggested questions. Things like, how does climate change affect you? What concerns you the most? And what solutions do you see?
Because it's the youth that are going to be left hanging with the bag from all the results of climate change, and they have no vote, they have no decision making in this whole thing, but yet they're going to be the ones that are going to be responsible and be left with this world.
Selected submissions could be featured in an immersive documentary presentation, raising awareness about the effects of climate change on youth and giving voice to the younger generation.
Be a part of the bigger picture and help people make decisions, because they're making decisions for our future, and I think that we want to be part of what influences our future, right?
Youth who would like to participate can go to the UrbanArts Toronto website to submit their videos. Keep it under 3 minutes long, and you have till the end of June to make your submissions. At Woodbine Beach, Audra Brown, City News.
Climate change, it's a little bit scary for me because I want to have kids when I grow up, and I don't want my kids to live in an earth that is not safe.
If I could share one message with the world about the climate crisis, it would be to stay hopeful. Because once we lose hope, then we've already lost half the battle. We have to believe that a more sustainable future is still within our grasp, or else we're just going to let our fear paralyze us. Hope is what fuels action, and we're desperately going to need it if we want to continue fighting for a better future. Often we can think, it's not happening to us. We see things in the media that the Arctic is melting, we see that there's mass deforestation, but we don't think it's happening to our neighbors or something in our backyard. I try to be wise when I make votes, and I try to be a responsible person in terms of when I make decisions, whether that means choosing more sustainable or also just making decisions that will lower my carbon footprint.
The fact of the matter is that to reach net zero emissions at any point in the future, it's going to be incredibly important to hold governments and corporations accountable for their carbon emissions. The main way that an everyday person can do this is by making it known that that's something they want, and they can do that by voting and contacting their local representatives.
When we judge other people instead of teaching them,
we need to be part of the change right now.
If the adults don't want to take responsibility for stopping global warming, then us kids are going to have to step in and take the reins.
I want to make it clear that kids have power. We have the power to make a difference.
And young people, this is the time for us to take the necessary actions towards climate change.
about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? I used to